Hi everybody, welcome to our channel, Rebecca, Stu, and the crew. I'm Rebecca, and today I'm going to show you how to make some farmhouse decor. They're really easy and a lot of fun to make. I love how they turned out. So the supplies you will need to make these are one of these self-adhesive wall tiles from Dollar Tree, 2 stretched canvas pictures from the Dollar Tree. You'll also need some of their chalkboard paint. I also found that at Dollar Tree with a stencil brush, some white paint of your choice. You will also need the disposable grill toppers or some chicken wire and some stencils or stickers of your choice. You're also going to need some greenery. I picked this up at the Dollar Tree, and I picked up this lavender at Walmart for 97 cents a while back, and some twine from Dollar Tree. You'll need some hot glue. You will also need something to write with, and a pair of regular scissors will work just fine for this. You'll also need a few different paint brushes. So let's get crafty. So the first thing I did was take my 2 stretched canvas pictures, and I cut the canvas and then just pulled that off of the frame. We're just going to use the frame so you can throw that canvas away. Then taking your grill topper, you lay that over top of your frame, and using a marker, you're just going to mark where it will sit on the frame. So this is where you're going to cut at. So just using a regular pair of scissors, it cuts really easy, and you can just cut right through there. And you're going to do this for both frames. So once that's done, I just line up my frame, make sure that the chicken wire or the grill topper is going to sit properly where I want it. And then you're just going to take a regular stapler, and you can just staple this down in place. Now I didn't put that in the supply list because you can just use hot glue. You don't have to use a stapler if you don't have one. So I did put a little bit of hot glue on the back of mine just because I wanted to raise it up off of the wall just a little bit if I hang it, so that any rough edges won't scratch the paint on the wall. Just a little bit of hot glue around those rough edges is perfect. Like I said, you can just use the hot glue to glue that on. Now taking a sponge brush with just a little bit of the white paint, I'm going to sponge brush all the way around the outside and the top of this frame. So I like that it has some cracks in it. I made sure that I didn't cover the whole entire thing with paint. I wanted it to have a weathered look to it, as you can see here. So you just need a tiny little bit of paint, preferably as dry as you can get the brush, and then just keep working at it until you get the effect that you like. And you really don't even have to paint it. The natural color that is left behind when you take the canvas off looks nice also. So once I have those done, and I did both of them exactly the same, I'm just going to go ahead and set these aside to dry while we start working on the next part of our project. Okay, so taking that wall tile sticker, we're going to cut right on the little ridge that they have between the tile. We're going to cut 2 of the big ones out, and then we're also going to cut those in half to separate those. And that's all we're going to use from this pack. So now taking my stencil, again, you can just use stickers if you have them. If you have a Cricut, you can make a Cricut sticker. It's really up to you. And then you're just going to stencil on your whatever picture it is that you choose to use. I've chose to do farmhouse, so I'm using a pig and a chicken for mine. Make sure you brush away from the stencil towards the center so that you don't get paint underneath. But if it does get underneath, it's okay. Just take a little teeny tiny bit of water on your brush and you can clean up those edges. Then taking the chalk paint, I do a nice little trim around the outside of these little tiles and let that dry. So once that one's done, I went ahead and did the one with the chicken, and then I'm going to set both of those aside to dry for about 15 minutes. Once that's done, I just peeled that sticker back off and then stick that right onto the chicken wire. And I did put a little bit of hot glue on the back of those just to make sure that it stayed, but it was staying really good without the hot glue. But again, that's another option just to make sure that it stays long term. So now I'm going to take some greenery and cut that down, and I glued a little bit of it going each direction so they meet kind of in the middle here, as you can see. And then I took a few pieces of the lavender and I just cut those off and glue those each down. I ended up using 3 small pieces on the bottom of each one, kind of glued them in all different directions, like one going to each side and then one going up through the center. Made a very simple twine bow and then glued that onto the top right in the center. I took a little bit of those green leaves and glued that to the side of the bow here. And then I thought it needed just a little bit of lavender up at the top there as well. I love lavender. I think it's so pretty. So I really wanted to add a little bit more of that. Plus purple is my favorite color, so why not? And this is how it turned out. So this is the bottom with the flowers there. Here's a close-up of the stencil. And this is the chicken one. And then here's a close-up of the bow in the front and the chicken wire. I just hung those up with a thumbtack. You can put a hanger on the back. There's the frame with that weathered look, and I just hung these together as a set. I just love the way these turned out, and they were so simple. Each one took probably 10 minutes, and I mean, I had the whole thing done in under 30 minutes, and that was with recording. So I just love how they turned out. They're super, super easy to make, and they make a great addition to our decor at our home. I hope you guys like these. If you do, I'd really appreciate it if you guys would like and share this video. Thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't done so already. And here's some other videos from our channel you might also enjoy. Have a great week, everyone.